talk about how important it is to be like gritty and raw. And I think that, like, in a way, makes it so memorable. Your writing has like the rawness come naturally to you, as you've just desired to be uh, honest with yourself about yourself, or is that something you had to develop?
Yeah, no, it was definitely something I had to develop, and I think that
Mm,
goes along the lines with the vulnerability we were just talking about. Um, I think those words grit and rawness, really what inspired me to start using language like that was authors like Flannery O'Connor and even Dostoevsky. A lot of his
mm,
characters were just an affront to my sensibilities. They would have this wild range of emotions that I couldn't quite understand, and yet after I read his works, I thought, wow, that is very true of the human experience. And
mm,
he doesn't mince words, and neither does Flannery O'Connor. And I think that um, for me, it really challenged a certain level of humility to know that I don't know everything, but I can take a stab at getting to the most basic essence of a thing, of what I think
mm,
about a thing, of an experience. And I think that affront to a sensibility is something that we experience when we're in daily life. And I began to be really passionate about how to express that through words because words have always been beautiful and powerful to me, but I think they haven't always been honest in the ways that I've desired. A lot of my writing began to just morph into what I knew my audience would enjoy or things that I
mm,
had received a lot of positive feedback about. I began writing in that style. And I think when I went through that season of just feeling like I didn't have a lot of inspiration, it kind of took me back to the drawing board of not necessarily what is my style, but what is the world saying to me and how can I chip away at anything that is not that. Um,
mm,
I heard recently that Michelangelo, when he was creating David, he had this really simple quote, and it went along the lines of, I saw David in this chunk of marble, and all I did was chip away at what wasn't David. And I feel like
mm,
in my writing, I'm really curious about that idea because the artistic journey is one that you're constantly chipping away at excess, at things that are not your style, at things that are not really true of what you mean. And yeah, I think that process allows you to see yourself in a more holistic manner. And I found that people have been pretty refreshed by that. But I will say that the more honest and the less words that you use to be honest, the more vulnerable the writing becomes because
mm.
you don't get the luxury of explaining things as much. You just have to say exactly what you mean and wait for a response and even wait for misconceptions and miscommunication and people to not understand the essence that you're getting after.